Hey there guys, and we're here today to have a look at G1 Weirdwolf, a prelude, if you would, to having a future look at this, the Fansproject Weirdwolf, or Quadruple U, and it looks so pretty if I've put this in the right spot. If not, then I've just made a fool of myself. But anyway, this can be purchased on Big Bad Toy Store, which is here. And you can still get this, you can still put your pre-order in. And I've done mine, so I thought this would be a nice way to have a look at the original and see what Fansproject have done to update it and make it, you know, their own little thing. So, let's get it in and have a look at the original Weirdwolf. We're not having a look at any other iterations of Weirdwolf because they really haven't been very good. So, let's get in and have a look at that G1 Weirdwolf. Head on!
Going all the way back to 1987, here we have Weirdwolf in his robot mode, and as per usual, we're going to take him to his wolf mode. Some might actually say that the look of this wolf is a little weird. Okay, Weirdwolf's head isn't very good, if I'm honest, but I can forgive it, even with its few shortcomings. From the side, the detail is okay and has a few stickers here and there, and a rib symbol as well, but again, nothing is going to blow your mind here at all, people. And unfortunately, on the top and the back, there's very little to catch your eye, apart from the big red bit of translucent plastic. That's about it, and we'll talk about that bit a little bit later on in the video. But we'll move on and talk about his articulation, so we'll start off here. This is obviously his elbow, and it does bend like that, but the joints are really stiff. And I am a little bit scared doing them. They can go back a little bit, but why would you? It's same on this side. The shoulders move as you would expect them to. A little stiff again. Here we have the back legs, and we have a backwards knee joint, so you can have them stretching out like that. But it's mainly for transformation, so you can't get a huge amount of posing out of it. The tail is on a little joint, so you can wag his tail, which is kind of cute. Because he's a happy little wolf and he just wants to kill. His head does have a joint, but again, it's kind of odd. It goes up and down, not a huge degree, and the mouth does open. It's one of these mouths that that's as much as you're going to get out of it. You can have him look down a little bit or up a little bit, just because of how this mouth works. And the teeth, I will say, are a little bit, again, not pleasant to look at. They're not very threatening. They're like his teeth have been shaven down because they were too sharp. The mane, again, is quite nice as well. I did like that. And as I mentioned, the nice little translucent bit on the top here is where you can store Monzo, which is the best name ever. You can't store him in like that. He won't go. So what you have to do, if I give a quick little fiddle to Monzo here, is you have to get him in this position, in the sitting down position, and put him in this way. I found is the best way to do it. So he's kind of sat like that, or lying down, I suppose, technically. That's the best way I found to get him in there, nice and snug. Speaking of Monzo, here he is, little guy that he is. His arms will move 90 degrees and a bit more, but I won't do it because Headmaster's arms are notorious for exploding off because of pretty much this here. There is no cut, so it's plastic rubbing against plastic. The legs do move separately, but only at the knee, oddly enough. You can bend the knees and get them into a sitting down position, and if you flip them up, obviously that's for the Headmaster gimmick. Not much else in terms of articulation bar this bit at the back, which is obviously to show his face. That's really about it, guys. But I'll give you a size comparison just in case you were wondering and scratching your noggins. First, we'll get ourselves Dirge here, the Creo, who I've looked at, and a Lego person, so you can see they're around this kind of height, if you were wondering at all. Now, in terms of detail, Monzo has quite a nice little sculpt on him for the kind of size he is. He's got a nice looking body. Oh yes, I do like his body. And surprisingly, the face is quite nice, though I do find it a little bit squashed up in there. I would have liked it maybe spread apart a little bit more. I don't know. Detail on the back is okay for what it is, but it's not amazing. But let's get Weirdwolf here and transform him. Head on! So here's Weirdwolf's robot mode, and yes, it does have some issues. One of the facts is that he has no abdomen at all. He's nothing but hips and then chest, which is really distracting for the eye. And in fairness, he does have a lot of back kibble on his back as well, but what can you do? But personally, I really like from the chest kind of upwards. I like the shape of it all, and I like his head design. I think it works if you let those two really big issues go. Okay, so let's have a look at Weirdwolf's articulation in robot mode. He does have the shoulders still, which are still stiff, as are the elbows, but you do get kind of a 90-degree bend out of them. You could probably get more if you're feeling brave. I don't, so that's as much as I'm doing. So let's put that back. He does have a lot of junk on his back, as I mentioned before, and his legs do move forward a good degree, actually, but no knee joint. He can't, well, a knee joint, I suppose, but he can kick upwards like that and, you know, break his robo leg, I guess. That's really about all of his articulation. Hey, guess what? G1 toy, no head articulation because of his gimmick. But let's have a look at that now, shall we? You don't need no tech spec card on this guy, kiddies. It's all right here on his chest. So let's have a quick look at all of this and its coding. So let's give you a demo of how the Headmaster gimmick works as we pull off Mr. Monzo here, and I grab another one. You can see these studs at the bottom correlate to the strength. Here is Skull Cruncher's Headmaster, who can't remember off the top of my head. He does have different studs, which means he has different stats, so let's give that a go. Boom. You can see all the different stats right there. I really like this little gimmick. It's simple, but it's quite fun. We'll pull him off, and we put Mr. Monzo back on there, shall we? Yes. Yeah, simple gimmick, but it really does tickle me, I find. Let's close this up, though, and have a look at his accessories, because he does have two. The first of which is, if I can get it off the table here, is his sword, obviously formed from his tail, which is alright, so we'll shove that in his hand. He's no extreme duel master because of his articulation, but, you know, he can shove you, or shiv you. A gun, quite nicely designed. I do like the style of it, and again, he can hold it and aim it and whatnot. I would maybe have preferred a different coloured gun so it doesn't blend in quite so much with his arm. Maybe a yellow would have been nice, but, you know, he's not too bad. He does alright for accessories. Okay, now guys, remember, I am totally biased when I'll give you my opinions here because I absolutely adore the G1 Headmasters. So, guess what? I love Weirdwolf. I know, shocking, right? But you might ask, hey Andy, what is it that you love about him? Well, I really do like the colours. He breaks the convention of most Decepticons with these bright yellows and the greys and stuff. It's not the combination of colours you usually see, so I do like that a lot, and it does make him stand out on a Generation 1 shelf, I find. Some people don't like it, but I find the wolf mode alien to a point, obviously, and it has a nice look to it, even though it is a bit silly, and I kind of wish the fangs were more fangs than, like, you know, scrubbed down teeth. And his robot mode, even though it's big and clunky, just feels, for the time, I think it was quite good. It made him look quite beefy and meaty, and you were like, oh, I don't want to mess with this guy because he looks like he's been working out at the Robo Gym, you know? Now, to get a complete Generation 1 version is quite difficult, and if you do find one, of course, it is going to cost you a bit. But I do think, as I mentioned at the start of the video, that the Fansproject version that is coming out looks pretty solid and looks like it's going to be a very good toy, a great update to the character. So remember, you can pre-order this on Big Bad Toy Store at the moment, so why not go over and grab this one? You'll probably be paying about the same amount as you would for a complete Generation 1 version, but this is obviously going to have that appeal of more intricate transformation and a lot more articulation and posability and fun factor and whatnot.